Hello guys, so we're doing 2 houses, 1 lot today. So this is actually going to be a 3-part little mini thing. The first video that you're seeing just now is the house in the back of the lot, and then we're going to do a house on the front of the lot, and then the last video is sort of the outside. These are built a little bit weird because they're based on real life floor plans, but ones that I just sort of walked through, so I don't know who to accredit them to or anything like that. My cousin is a carpenter, a very talented one, and occasionally he gets to do cool things because he knows that I'm into house building and architecture and that kind of thing. Every once in a while, he'll either send me pictures, or these 2 builds were based off of houses I actually got to walk through because the company he was contracting for at the time did a friends and family walkthrough. They were building like a kind of pseudo tiny house community, and these are really cool. Like this one was called the Park Model, and I don't remember the name of the other one that you'll see in the other video. But the thing about building in Del Sol Valley, which came with Get Famous, is that the lots are huge, which is exciting. Like a lot of times a bigger lot is really nice, but in this like sort of starter area of the world, it's a little bit hard to figure out what to do, especially when you're trying to play like that starving artist beginner actress kind of idea. And so with that, I decided that maybe it would make more sense if our best friends or whoever ends up moving in here, I have kind of a rough idea. I know the gal who lived on this lot that I bulldozed her house, she's gonna live, I think, in the other one that we build in the second video. But whoever lives here, they decided to go in on the lot together and then pick their own houses. It's really dark in the beginning of this video. I've been struggling with the lighting engine, first of all, in this game, which has nothing to do with that. It was dark because I hadn't put lights in. But unfortunately, the next few videos coming out are potentially just going to be a little bit dark. Also, the last few builds that I've done have been really like kind of chopped apart because there's been so much going on in real lives, which is very boring in YouTube land, but real life took precedence for a little while. Also, if I sound super sick, I'm not, but I am in the path of some smoke from some wildfires. Don't worry, I'm not in the path of wildfires. I'm very grateful for that, and I feel very bad for the people who are, but I have to be outside because I live on a farm, and so I sound like this a little bit, which is annoying, and I kept waiting for it to get better, and I think we're just in it now. I think we're in it for potentially several weeks, and so I was like, I can't wait that long. And I was really excited to show you guys these builds, so please excuse the sort of like super crackly old voice I have today. I went with kind of a weird color scheme on this one. I know I say that with everyone, but my natural inclination is to go with whites and like greens and blues, and I tried to take that a little bit darker and add some pinks in this time, so the cabinets are a really bold color, and I think this is a small house, it worked okay. And the layout is kind of interesting. Yeah, she acquired the video game skill because I kept having to player test things, and she kept finding new interesting things to get skilled in. So she actually like did quite a bit of skilling up. Also, she lit, I forget her name, and that's really awful. We're eventually going to do probably a makeover of her when we add her lot mate. But she managed to light every kitchen on fire. I'm not joking. She lit the kitchen in this house on fire. She lit the kitchen in the house that you'll see in the next video on fire. And then I put a barbecue space in the outdoor area in between, which will be its own video as well because it was kind of a big space to do. It's kind of pseudo a room build. And yeah, she lit that on fire too. So the screenshots are all a little wonky because it was me just being like, I don't want to wait for you to clean this up, you know? But yeah, so anyways, the idea behind these are they're 1 bedroom, and each person sort of prioritized what was important to them when they were picking out the model for their house. So in this model, which again is based on a real life model, they really prioritized indoor outdoor living. That's why there's 2 big screen doors, or not screen doors, sliding glass, well, one's a sliding glass door and one's sort of a big panel door. I did struggle with the living room because in real life the living room was kind of really smushed. Because obviously, you know, you can just sort of crawl on the bed, and they had like hanging bedside tables and stuff, which would have been really cool with CC, but I opted not to go that way because most of the builds on the channel, I don't do CC. I like CC, I've gotten kind of into it, but I don't usually play with it, or I guess I don't usually build with it. I have gotten really into making it though, except I can't make meshes to save my life. Anyways, I digress. Point being, in the real build, the bedroom is a lot more squished and makes more sense, and it is sort of on that weird wonk that I was trying to mimic and ended up not quite coming out. Very cool, and you do actually walk through the bedroom, or you can walk through the front in the real build as well. And I believe there was a lofted space actually above the bedroom in the real build for storage, not for living space. It wasn't like lofted enough for you to live in there. That's one thing I wish we could do with The Sims, especially with tiny living. It would be really nice to be able to put like a futon style mattress in like a half-walled space and have the Sim be able to crawl. I understand that would take so much animation and so much programming, and it would be such a pain in the tail to make work. I understand why we don't have that, but like for future games, that'd be really cool, because especially with tiny living, especially with this kind of interesting community built challenge of how small can you make houses, it'd be really cool to have like an actual loft space. We can kind of mimic it, but like the first video I ever posted on this channel was that sort of restored boathouse, and the idea behind that originally was like a loft space, but because I had to put full walls in, it, in my opinion, is still very cute. Like, I still like it. Tooting my own horn here, but yeah, it's definitely not a loft space. It's a whole room. Excuse me, there's a bug flying around my face, and he knows I'm busy, and he keeps landing on the mic and on my glasses. But yeah, the bathroom here again is very small, trying to get everything in. It's not as small as it could be. I know some people build like 2-tile bathrooms. I still like, I like building small houses that still kind of are in the spirit of the gameplay. Like, I totally get, like, that's a really cool challenge to be able to fit like a 2-tile bathroom in, and like a 1-tile kitchen, or all these crazy things people do. I find that fascinating, and the way their brains work are amazing, and the fact that, you know, sometimes they can get like 3-tile houses, that's crazy to me. That's awesome. But when I'm building, that's not a way I enjoy building, so you probably won't ever see something like that from me. Oh my goodness, this bug. I hope you aren't hearing a lot of banging around and smashing, but I'm literally just trying to knock him off and everything. He really wants to be part of the video. He says hi, and if you hear buzzing, it's because he's landed on the mic several times. He has been bugging me all day today, though. Literally all my work day, he was hanging around, felt the need to land on the screen quite a bit. When I was out working with the horses, I thought he would fly out, because my office space is also like my bedroom space, is also like my craft space, so everything happens in here. And nope, he's chosen to stay, and he's chosen to be a pest since about 2:50 this morning. So there you go. That's summertime in the high desert for you. Crazy bugs and heat and smoke. But I really like the way this living room turned out. Getting back to the build, it's kind of like disjointed, but in my opinion, a very real way. Like, houses that you truly honestly live in, and that you know, your workspace and your living space and your cozy, you know, this is where I relax. They're not always super put together. A lot of times there's weird things, but it's like, I liked this lamp. Does it go with the house? No, but I chose to bring this lamp home. In fact, speaking of my personal space, my sort of work / living little space here in this house, I have a lot of things where I'm like, does this make sense in this room? No, it's an entirely different style, but you know, I like it a lot. I liked it enough to bring it home, and now it works. And I like doing that in The Sims to a point, because first of all, none of the furniture matches, and it's kind of a good excuse to be like, yeah, none of the wood matches, it's all reclaimed. But also it's just very realistic to me and how I live. Like, my desk is a jet black repurposed teacher's desk from like the 1940s. I love this desk a lot, despite the fact that I smack my knees on it all the time because it's very short. But literally everything else in my room is painted white, so it doesn't really match. But again, it has a story, and I like it a lot. So that tends to be how I build in The Sims, and I think it really kind of worked out in this house. It kind of made a lot of sense. You were just working through the bedroom. I'm trying to find a balance between a decent amount of clutter so it feels lived in, and not so much clutter. Goodness, I can talk today. So much clutter that it runs poorly, because since the latest update, I have had some struggles getting my game to not lag terribly. It does better when you clear the bulletin board. However, I have had lighting glitches, and I have had camera glitches, and I have had lag. And it wasn't doing that before, so I have a tendency to believe it's not my computer. I have a tendency to believe it is probably something that's up with the patch, and I've heard a couple other people complain about it too, so I'm thinking it's not me. However, it does start to get really laggy really fast, so I've been trying to pare back on my clutter a little bit. That being said, there's a video coming up in a little while from this one, I think. They get a little out of order when I post them sometimes, so I shouldn't talk about other videos. However, there's one coming up that's a living room. And I did not follow my own rule and cluttered the tar out of that room, but it's a single room, so it's not that big a deal. Also, for like Sims living and playing, it's kind of funny because I've actually gone back to like playing one of my personal families that I had not abandoned, but kind of abandoned recently for Sim sessions, because they were kind of like financially stable and stuff enough for me to feel like I could go do that without it being a big old mess to deal with their needs and whatever. So I've been playing them a lot was the point I was making there. And I realized that while I like building super cluttered houses, I don't like playing in them very much. And so I've moved them to an apartment where like all of their stuff is out, but it's not super cluttered. And so I've been trying to like mimic that a little bit more in my builds, this idea of like, I don't really like playing in builds where it's so cluttered you can't do anything, so I need to stop building those. I don't need to stop building those, but I need to be mindful of that because I'm probably not the only one. This outdoor space is to die for. I have a big old porch in my real life, and I have decided a big old porch is a must-have anywhere I live ever, or some kind of outdoor space, because I am thoroughly and completely obsessed. I love it. I love sitting out on the porch. I love working out on the porch when it's not smoky or like, 107 like it's been lately, which I think is another reason why everything feels incredibly difficult. Like my poor computer is just struggling. It's high, and AC only does so much, and it's under a window and I can't move it. Oh my goodness. Anyways. But yeah, I love this porch. I love the idea of indoor outdoor living. The original house, like the real life house, it had all of this covered porch area, and then off to the right hand side, if you were looking at the front of the house, had this big sweeping porch that was not covered, more of a deck space. And it was all fenced with a little gate and stuff. It was really pretty. I opted not to do that because I wanted more of you can see me kind of like mentally planning it out here, making sure my house is the right size and everything. I wanted more of a community space in the middle, which, by the way, this lot that will have both houses in the outdoor space has party place, I believe it is, and sunny aspect. I forget about traits a lot. I don't add traits to my lots a lot, but I added those too because I wanted whoever ends up living here to have lots of parties and lots of fun, and I wanted them to have, be inspired and be really sort of like ready to go on that. But here are the screenshots, so I'll go ahead and leave you here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope that you're not anywhere near those wildfires, and if you are, that you're safe and that your family is safe, and I will talk to you very, very soon.